Welcome home, chefs, to the Chef Lance Show. Tonight we're doing a true one-pot wonder. It is super fast, super simple for weeknight meals. This is a sausage, kale, and white bean stew. We've garnished it with a little Parmesan cheese, and it is absolutely delicious. So we're going to see you around the corner here, and we're going to get started making this thing. See you then. Welcome back home, chefs. Today we're going to do something really special, a real one-pot meal for the family. Perfect for the weeknight. This is a sausage, kale, and white bean stew. This may be one way to get your kids to eat that green leafy vegetable you know they need to eat. So I'm preheating my pan right now. Then we're going to start sauteing our sausage. This is a mild Italian sausage you can get off the shelf at any grocery store. I've got that. Then we're going to add some of our aromatics, the onions. We're going to saute that around for a few minutes. So I'm going to let you see me doing the work. We'll come back in just a second, and I'll be showing you that. See you then. All right, here we go. So, you know, a lot of people have asked me, can you do something a little lower in fat? So today I'm just using a light cooking spray. The pan is obviously preheated. If you can hear it, you might not be able to, but the oil hit the pan, and it is really sizzling. But what I'm going to put in first, I'm going to put in my onions. Push those around a couple times. Then I'm going to add the sausage to it. By the way, while you're watching me do this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your family and friends. It really, really does help us out. All right, so now I've got the sausage in. I'm going to use my handy-dandy mix and chop. Y'all have seen me use this before, but this thing is absolutely the Mac Daddy. And do we still use Mac Daddy? Am I hip and cool, or is that just me being old? But anyway, this is the Mac Daddy of stuff to saute and crumble meat as it's browning, and it does so much more than that. And I've got a link for it down below. Just click on that. They're very inexpensive, very affordable, and you will ask yourself, why didn't I get one of these sooner? Because that's what I said to myself. Anyway, not that y'all talk to yourself. You know, when I started arguing with myself, I actually enjoyed it because I always win. You can laugh later. All right, so here we go. I'm going to shake out the stuff that's sticking and push that around. Now, I don't have to do this constantly. I'm going to let it brown up a little bit. I can tell it needs a little more fire under it to get this bad boy going. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Actually, give it a second to heat up. This is going to saute for a few minutes. Then we're going to add the sweet potatoes, the white beans, and the chicken stock. And we're going to get that simmering. And when it simmers, we're going to put a lid on it. But next, we come back, we're going to add all those ingredients, okay? We'll see you around the corner. Okay, welcome back. We are just about through browning and crumbling this meat. I've switched back to the spatula because I'm about to add the other ingredients. Okay, so this, even if you see a little pink, remember this is going to simmer further with chicken stock. This is a stew, and so it will continue to cook. It doesn't have to be thoroughly cooked at this moment. In fact, I tend to like to stop it a little ahead of time. And now I've got some diced sweet potatoes, and I just love some sweet potatoes. In fact, for baking, I prefer sweet potatoes over russet potatoes. Okay, this is some white beans. I believe these are Great Northerns. And they were in the can. They were drained and rinsed. And I added that. I'm going to stir that around a little bit. Try not to break something while I'm doing it. Get that stirred in. Saute just a tad. I'm going to bring the heat back up to high because in just a second, I am going to add that chicken stock. And we're going to bring this to a simmer. Bring it to a boil and reduce it to a simmer. And then we're going to put a lid on this, and then it's going to simmer for several minutes. And then we'll be ready to plate. See how quick this is? Come in on a weeknight, you got everything prepped up. It's all in containers in your kitchen. You do that on prep day, you know. If you're off on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, whatever works for you. I used to prep on Sunday afternoon, put the TV in front of me, watch me some football, and do all that nonsense. And I would just prep for my meals all week long. And I did that when I was single. So you can do this. Absolutely. Get this prep. It doesn't take a minute. Yeah, it takes a few minutes. Okay, you're going to spend 2-3 hours, but it's not something you're on a deadline for. You can stop, talk on the phone, all that nonsense. Okay, so but this way you have your menu planned out, which makes your grocery shopping easier. Be sure don't take the kids to the grocery store. You know all that nonsense. All right, so here's the deal. I'm not going to make you watch this come to a boil because we all know that a watch pot never boils. So I'm going to put a lid on this, bring it to a boil, and when it does, we're going to turn it down to a simmer. I'll bring you back then, stir it around a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit to it, but we're going to do all that. Why am I still talking? I'll see you in a minute. All right, we're up to a boil now, and I didn't even have to put the lid on. By the time I went and grabbed the lid, it was boiling. So I'm going to turn this down. There we go. Now you see the small bubbles. It's not as they're not as big as the boil, but the small ones. And now I'm going to put a lid on this. We're going to let that simmer just like that for 7 to 10 minutes. Then we're going to come back. We're going to add our kale, rosemary, and adjust the seasonings. Then we're ready to plate. This is so quick and easy. Do this next week. All right, see you in a sec. All right, we are back, and this bad boy is good to go. I tested the sweet potatoes with a fork or a knife. You can do it with either one. I used a fork, and they are beautifully tender, ready to eat. This is going to be so delicious. So before I put the kale in, though, what I want to do is I want to taste for seasonings, okay? So I haven't added any salt yet, and so I know it's going to need some. So I'm just going to go ahead, put it in. And then we're going to add our greens. We have kale. We have about 4 cups of that. And then we have some rosemary that has been chopped up. Not a lot of that. You know, if you're old enough to remember the Brylcreem commercial, then you're dating yourself, and you're as old as I am probably. But like Brylcreem, a little dab you do you when it comes to rosemary. I love rosemary, but do not overdo it. All right, so getting that stirred up. Now I'm going to test for seasoning. That's actually good, spot on. We'll test again before we plate it. But now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of rosemary. And that's chopped up very fine. There won't even be a mouthfeel. It's so fine, it'll just be part of the stew. And the fragrance hits you immediately. Smell-o-vision! I'm going to invent that bad boy, and that'll be my gateway to fortune. So will y'all buy one? All right, getting back to cooking. All right, so now rosemary is in there. Now I'm just going to dump my, that was kind of graceful one. I want to dump this kale in here. I don't really want to stir it in just yet. What I'm going to do is pat it around like that. It is still at a little bit of a simmer. I'm going to turn it up just slightly, put the lid back on, and I'm going to come back in about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're going to check on it. So I'll see you then. Hey there, we've been simmering with the lid on to wilt our kale. So let's see how we're doing. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, and that rosemary. I want a rosemary facial. Rosemary steamed facial. All right, so this is looking absolutely fantastic. Look at the color, the white beans, the orange from the sweet potato, the green from the kale, the aroma from the rosemary. Woo! You're going to love this. So this is a stew, and it's more hearty than there's not a lot of liquid in it. So we're going to make sure we grab some when we actually plate this. And so today, I didn't have my cast iron Dutch oven to cook this in, but I do have a little mini cast iron Dutch oven, and we're going to plate this in. So I thought that'd be nice. All right, let me do one more taste test. That is so spot on. That's not even funny. Love it. All right, it's a little hot too. All right, so I'm going to turn this off, move some things around, pull this in. And the cool thing, this induction cooktop does not, it has to work with something that has iron in it. And obviously this plate does not. Now this does. If it were directly on it, this would actually heat like a big vessel. I don't know why am I chasing that bright shiny object, but here we go. I'm going to plate this. I'm going to get some liquid down here. This is so spectacular. Now this little cast iron thing is deceptively large. It's a lot larger than it originally looks. So that's about as far as I'm going to go with the plating, because that is about 2 cups. That's enough for a dinner size. I'm a big boy, but I'm starting to eat less and less. So I don't know. Am I getting old? Nah, can't be happening. So now I'm actually going to garnish with a little Parmesan. And of course, we'll do that from our block. We never buy shredded cheese, ever. So I'm going to use my microplane. We've talked about this. Made in the USA, made right here in my home state. A little town called Russellville. And I'm going to plate this with a little garnish that I'm not doing very well keeping within the lines, but I don't care. Looks like snow, doesn't it? There we go. All right, so finished with that. Now I'm going to move this. I'm actually going to clean my plate up a little bit. Okay, it helps. Plate it, and this is it, guys. This is our beautiful sausage, white bean, and kale stew. Looks yummy, doesn't it? And I can't wait to try it. We're going to do that in just a second. All right, it's taste time. It's my favorite time of the day. It's time to taste what we just made. This is this beautiful sausage. We'd used a mild Italian sausage. Kale, we added the kale at the end and let them wilt in here. So it retains some of the structure that kale has, a nice hearty green. And then we put white beans in here. I believe these are Great Northerns, but you can use any white bean you want. And it's also got sweet potatoes, adds color to it. Enough of that nonsense. Let me just get to tasting this thing, get a little bit of everything, and we're going to go to town. Let's see how this is. Happy dance time. Oh, yeah. Man, that is delicious, and it's coming out. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. That is so good. Nice, hearty, perfect for winter. This is actually going to be my dinner later tonight. This is delicious. Perfect for weeknight winter meal. This sausage, kale, and white bean stew is excellent for that. It's a one-pot wonder. You just do a couple of things at prep day, throw it in a pot, and in a few minutes, it's ready to put on the table. Perfect for you. So thanks for joining us on the Chef Lance Show. And just remember this, a day in the kitchen beats a day of working any day. We'll see you next time.